In this video we'll explore how you can make use of alpha blending and shapes when you use the dot plot. If we start off with the top dot plot here, this is showing different items which happen to be stocks grouped by industry, 10 industries, and organized along the x-axis in accordance with their one-day price change. So you can see that around 0 here, a little low or a little high, that's where we have the big crowd. We have some outliers left and right here. But as a matter of fact, the data is so dense that here everything just melts together into one line more or less, and it's impossible to discern one item from the other. Of course, one thing we can do to help the situation is to enable borders like that, which gives us a border around each item and allows us to discern that, okay, here we have a lot of overlaid items which are sorted in accordance with their one-day change value. But we can't really tell how many items are behind here. But that's where alpha can help us. So if we enable the empty alpha variable, then we just set a fixed static alpha value here of 0.1, we immediately understand that, okay, in this range here, financials, that's where we have the most dense collection of items, along with, in this industry here, industrials. So this allows us to create a compact sort of distribution chart or density plot, or an alternative to a histogram, if you like, to give us an understanding of where we have a lot of data items. The next example below here shows us the one-day change overall value per each one of 3 different regions organized by industry. So for each industry we see how each of the 3 industries performed overall. Now it becomes quite difficult to understand which of these dots is which. They all have the same color. We can't really discern how this one relates to one of these 3 and so on, unless we point at one item and read from the details pop up like this. Now one thing we can do about that is to enable coloring by region, of course. So I drag region to color, and I'll set a nice color palette like that. So now obviously the color tells me that whatever is red belongs together, whatever is green belongs together, and so on. However, I do think that these big dots are a bit much in the graph. I'd like to make them more subtle, and for that purpose the shapes are a good option. So if I drag region to shape as well, I can then select some of the shapes which are not filled, which will give me a much lighter appearance. And as a visual guide for how to read this chart, that is, which of these dots are part of the same category, I can optionally enable connecting lines like this. And over here I could add a shape legend. And associate that with the dot plot. And now I immediately understand that the red circles, that's Europe, etc. And it becomes easy to follow these lines, almost like following trail marks on a trail, going from one category to the next, emphasizing the categorical value, the fact that for oil and gas, for industrials, for healthcare, we have a value for each one of these region categories. But this is actually not a series that has an inherent order going from left to right, but instead it is a collection of individual values that belong together by some category.